Our recipient this year is Lee Salz, the great Lee Salz. He's the author of Sales Differentiation. He's based in Minneapolis. He lived here for a while. He's spoken at the IES Live stage 2 times. He's also been on our podcast a number of times. He's going to do today's keynote. It's my honor and pleasure to bring to you the 2022 IES Sales Speaker of the Year, Lee Salz.
Thank you. Thank you, Fred. Thank you all for coming out today. It's so nice to see faces in person versus on a little Zoom box. You know, not enough people talk about Zoom and mirroring the Brady Bunch, right? If you think about that Brady Bunch with the 9 squares, that's what my day usually feels like. You know, when Fred reached out to me and told me that I had won this award, it's one of the few times in my life that I was speechless, which, you know, a speaker with not having speech is not really a good thing. But he asked me to share a few words with you all today around sales, something that you can come away with that will help you immediately in sales. Now, one thing that Fred didn't mention to you about my background is when I'm not working in the sales profession, I'm a competitive power lifter. It actually started when I was living here. I lived in Sterling, Virginia for about 10 years. And I compete in the bench press. And have done so, since the year 2000. But we started early today. Fred said, you gotta be here early today, so you're not gonna get your workout in. So I'm gonna ask you all to stand up for just a moment and participate in a little exercise with me. Everybody stand up, please. Okay, everybody stand up nice and tall, put your heels together. Who's got a bad back, bad neck? Yeah, me too, you'll be fine with this. Okay. Heels together, nice and tall. Shoulders back. Extend your right arm. Extend your left arm. Fold your right arm. Fold your left arm. Stay like that and sit down. Always like to get that out of the way up front because so often I talk with salespeople. I already know sales. What are you going to teach me? Which is really a shame because sales is philosophy. We never master sales. There's always more to learn. Then there are those who come into a program like this or read a sales book, prepared to forget everything and anything they ever learned about sales and listen to somebody like me tell them how to sell. Well, that also isn't a healthy way to come into a program like this, to read a sales book or approach your sales development. What we should all be doing is looking for opportunities to move the sales needle. Little things that we can do that'll have a magical impact on results. Little things, a phrase, a technique, a tactic, a strategy, something to add to our repertoire. You're in this institute because you are a success. And as you come to events here, I mean, you heard all the wonderful programs that Fred shared that the Institute puts on. The goal is to find that little nugget to get that incremental improvement. I mean, think about it. What would a 10% improvement in each step of the sales process do for you? Right, if we were 10% more effective in converting prospects from discovery to presentation, from presentation to proposal, from proposal to win, if we were 10% more effective, and you can do the math on this, you'd have 33% more sales. Anybody not want 33% more sales? That's all it takes. A little thing. We can all move that needle, just 10%. That's all we need. And I'll show you the numbers. In that middle column there, I just made it easy math, and I made 50% across the board. It doesn't matter what your conversion ratios are today. If you get 10% more, in this case, it takes you from 50 to 55, you will get a 33% improvement in aggregate in the number of sales that you get. So in this case, with a $50,000 sale, we bump that up, we're more effective, we get 10% more. That's almost $1 million more in revenue just by moving that needle a little bit. A little bit. And that's what we all should be insatiable in sales. And not enough salespeople do that. Like I said, so often that's why I start with this. I see this. My boss said I had to come to this thing today. Or we read a sales book and we're like, yeah, I already do all that stuff. I'm perfect. None of us are perfect. There's always more to learn. So I get these calls all the time from CEOs, business owners, saying, Lee, we got a closing issue. I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me about that. Well, my salespeople, they tell me about these deals that are imminent. And then all of a sudden we get to the finish line, they ghost us, we lose to the competition, they decide to stick with what they were doing before, or all of a sudden price becomes an issue. So in short, we've got a closing issue. And it usually takes them 5 to 10 minutes to share this with me, and once they're done, I empathize with them because I'm sure it's frustrating. And then I correct them. So based on what you've just shared with me, it doesn't sound like you have a closing issue at all. Lee, weren't you listening? I just gave you a litany of issues that we have. I agree. But that's really a symptom of the issue that you have today. And then they'll be puzzled. Well, then what is my issue? It's discovery. Discovery. During discovery, it's where we acquire data, right? We learn information, we share information, and that's where we meaningfully differentiate. And here's something you're going to want to write down. If discovery is weak, the deal is weak. Think in terms of a home. Discovery is the foundation of your deal. The structure collapses if that's weak. So we're going to talk about a needle-moving opportunity that you have in discovery. Now, is there anyone in the room who hasn't been told as part of discovery, you've got to find pain? Anybody, raise your hand if you haven't been told that. We've all been told that, right? So we got to find the pain. And the more pain we hear, the more we start to salivate. It's a great day. They're miserable and I'm thrilled. So I found the pain. And so I'm kicking back and I'm thinking of all the ways I'm going to spend that commission check. Oh boy, new car. Maybe I'm going to expand the house. Boat? That'd be neat to have on the Potomac. What do you mean they're staying with the current provider? I found pain. How could that be? What happened to that deal? You remember the old Roach Motel? What was their catchphrase? The Roach Motel. Roaches go in, but they don't come out. I see this all the time with sales funnels. Deals go in, but we're shaking it. It's not coming out the other side. Why? Because we heard pain and we aren't taking that conversation to the next level. Pain. Got to find it. It's the key in discovery. But there's something more we need to do. We need to figure out and take that conversation to the next level to determine if the pain we've just heard is an inconvenience or a problem. Is it an inconvenience, excuse me, or a problem? Those aren't synonyms, are they? Think of the context of an inconvenience. Think of the context of a problem. It's my little puppy, Kona. Isn't she adorable? My little cockapoo. Anybody else get a COVID puppy? Yeah. This is my daughter's doing. It's like, Dad, we should get another dog. Okay, honey. And I love that little puppy. She is delightful. She's sweet. I have a home office. She has a bed in my office. Every day I say, Kona, let's go do work. And she comes trotting in, and she lays in her bed while I do my Zoom calls all day. Here's how I wake up every morning. I kid you not, because there's the picture of it. She climbs up to the top of my pillow, reaches down and kisses my nose in the sweetest little way. There is no better way to wake up in the morning than with Kona kisses on your nose. But she does have an idiosyncrasy. All dogs seem to have little idiosyncrasies. Whenever someone walks by our house, particularly if they're walking a dog, oh my goodness, she goes berserk. So she goes into our dining room where we have these 3 big windows with wooden blinds on them, and she starts pounding on the window. She runs laps around the table. She's all riled up. Well, about 6 months ago, we didn't open the blinds to her satisfaction. Someone walks by with a dog, she goes running in, and she starts pawing at these blinds and completely destroyed one set of them, irreparable. So now in my dining room, I've got a set of blinds, and a sheet covering the windows. 6 months now, and it's still there. Why? It's COVID, nobody's coming to visit. But I assure you, if my in-laws are coming to town, there will not be a sheet on that window when they arrive, because this issue will have gone from an inconvenience to a problem. See, I talk about this, I can't tell you how many times I've shared the story of Kona and what she's done to the blinds. And when you listen to it, you all say, yeah, from 6 months, really? I mean, we have not gone to a store. We haven't gone online to find new blinds. It's not a big deal. It's not even in the main traffic pattern of the house. We don't even go in there very often. But families coming? I can't even imagine. My father-in-law, a New Yorker, I can't imagine him coming in and going, you married my daughter and you got a sheet on the window? That's just not going to happen. See, when we think of an inconvenience, this is a nuisance. We all have them in our lives. We don't do anything about it until it elevates to the level of a problem. And then and only then do we take action on it, and we're willing to invest time, resources, and dollars to address it. You know, we like to talk about solutions. We say we sell solutions. Well, solutions don't correlate with inconveniences, they correlate with problems. So we've got to figure out, when we're interacting with a prospect and we're hearing this pain, let's wipe off that saliva that's coming out because we're getting all excited, and take that conversation to the next level to figure out if the pain we've just heard is an inconvenience or a problem. This is one of the main reasons I find salespeople, when they look at that funnel, that they have pipe dreams instead of pipelines. That deals go in, but they don't come out the other side. So how do we do it, Lee? Okay, great. You just told me I've got to figure out if it's an inconvenience or a problem. How do we do it? So I'm going to take you to a place right now. Think of the scariest place you've ever been to and multiply it by 100. That's how scary this place is. No one in this room ever wants to go to this place. But we do. We do. Unbelievably scary. I mean, Stephen King could not write a book more scary than this place. It's the dentist chair. Right? Does anybody look forward to going to the dentist? Gosh, I was there last week. Couldn't end fast enough. Right? We're supposed to go twice a year. We go in for a cleaning. And what happens after the cleaning? We have an exam. And here comes that dentist with that big metal hook. You've been told since you were just toddler's age, don't ever put metal in your mouth. I didn't realize there was an asterisk on that, because if you're a dentist, you're allowed to put metal in someone else's mouth. And if you think about what that dentist does, they go through a scan, right? They take that hook and they go tooth by tooth. And what are we doing as patients that whole time? Praying, please don't stick, please don't stick, please don't stick. And then it happens. The hook sticks in the tooth and the dentist sets up camp and conducts a comprehensive analysis to determine what's going on. The root cause. I had to say that. Well, think of that in terms of your discovery. What we do is we ask what I call horizontal questions, these surface level questions, and that gives us the what. We get a piece of data, a piece of information. What we don't do enough of is ask what I call vertical questions and get a complete picture of the why. Like that dentist sets up camp there and figures out what is going on with that tooth. When we capture a piece of information, a piece of data, we can't just write it down and move on to that next scan question. We need to take a deep dive and get a complete picture of that piece of information that we've just learned. So let's say we ask a horizontal question like, how do you manage inventory? Too many salespeople will get that information of how they manage inventory and move to that next horizontal question, that next scan question, that surface level question. What should happen is they set up camp there. After they get that information, they take a deep dive, vertical questions, and get a complete picture around that piece of information that they've just learned. When we talk about moving the needle, affecting deal conversion, getting that complete picture of the why, not just the surface level questions, but the why. We're the sales managers, the sales leaders in the room. So you're really good at this, and here's why. Your salespeople come back, they say, hey, I got this deal in the works. And you start asking all the vertical questions. We need our salespeople to be doing that, because we start asking our salespeople, Why are they looking to do this? What's driving the change? And they go, that's a good question. We didn't get to that. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. We need to be insatiable in our learning, in our work during discovery. So we don't ask enough vertical questions during discovery, but I'm going to let you off the hook. It's not your fault. Everybody likes to tell you it's your fault that you're not doing something correctly. It's not. It's not your fault that you don't ask these questions. Well, then whose fault is it? It's your parents' fault. We all come into this world insatiably inquisitive. Why is the sky blue? Why is this so big? Why is this so round? And what do parents do? It just is. No more questions. Have a lollipop. We've been conditioned to believe that asking questions is an irritant, that people will get angry with us when we ask questions. Problem is, every study on sales shows that the key to success is asking thoughtful, insightful questions, getting a complete picture of a buyer's circumstance before we ever start talking about a solution. Who's got toddlers in the room? Anybody? Who was a toddler? I did some research. You can Google this, you can find this. How many questions does the average toddler ask per day? Anybody want to guess? I heard 100. It's about 300. And you all believe that, right? If you have kids, you know, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, they ask about 300 a day. Mine ask 500. How many questions does the typical B2B salesperson ask during discovery? 6 or less. We have forgotten how to be insatiably inquisitive. We've forgotten. And it's our parents' fault. But now we know of this issue, we got to do something about it. We have to rediscover our ability to be insatiably inquisitive, and I'm going to help you get started on that today. I want you to forget about what you sell today. I want you to forget about the industry that you're in. As of this moment, we're all in the vacation travel industry. And I want you to get a pad and pen ready, because we're going to have a little quiz. You didn't know you were going to have a quiz this morning. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you a response to a horizontal question, a surface level question, and I'm going to give you 60 seconds to come up with as many vertical questions as you can based on that one piece of information, that one data point. So the horizontal question that we're going to be asking this prospect is, where would you like to go on vacation? I'm going to share with you the response to that, and you're going to have 60 seconds to come up with as many vertical questions as you can. Everybody ready? I want to go to Florida. As many vertical questions as you can. Have you ever been to Florida before? How are you going to get there? What do you want to do in Florida? I just gave you 3. You've got 60 seconds. Go. Okay, raise your hand if you had 3 questions or more on your list. Raise your hand. Keep your hands up if you had 6 or more. Keep your hands up if you had 9 or more. Excellent. How many could you have come up with if there wasn't a stopwatch? I did this with a sales team, and I gave them 3 minutes. That team came up with over 80 unique questions based on one piece of information. I want to go to Florida. And this is a great exercise for you to do with your sales teams, because we've got to rediscover that ability to be insatiably inquisitive. Forget about your world. And in my book, Sell Different, I actually have a chapter around this with several examples of this exercise, like I want to go to Florida, and get yourself becoming insatiably inquisitive again, just like you were as a toddler. And then once you've done that several times, then start pulling some examples from your own industry, and you'll notice, those of you in sales, your discovery meetings will become more thorough. Sales leaders, you'll notice your salespeople become much more effective at moving deals through the pipeline. Because when we look at this pain challenge, when we want to uncover if this is an inconvenience or a problem, vertical questions are what's going to expose that opportunity. So you got to practice it. It doesn't come naturally for us anymore. It didn't when we were toddlers. It doesn't today. Practice this with your teams, because folks, that's an example of a needle mover. Again, I want to thank you so much for this honor to be your Speaker of the Year. And also, if you like this concept of moving the needle, believe it or not, I couldn't get leeslessons.com. If you go to leeslesson.com, there's almost 100 of these needle-moving opportunities there. There's no form to fill out or any of that. You go there, you'll see there's a nice table of them. You can read them. The ones you like, you can download, you can print them, share them with your team, and it's all in the spirit of moving the needle. Again, thank you so much. Oops. Thank you, Fred.
Margaret, we're going to take a picture.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Lee Salz, one more time for a nice round of applause.
So you can turn this off.